Hey everyone, welcome back to Big Strong Book. I'm Reed, and today we are discussing Chapter 15 of the Dragonbone share. Chapter 15 is A Meeting at the Inn. It is the first chapter in Part 2, Simon Pilgrim. So Simon has woken up from a night he will certainly never forget. Morgana's dead, him having to flee, and then witnessing in chapter 14 the ritual that Priorites and Elias and Breugar underwent with the Norns. Very significant. And he's still trying, obviously, he's still trying to process that. He's coming down from it. And just one page into the chapter, he says to himself, "Dreams, idiot, bad dreams, terror and tiredness and more terror. I ran through the graveyard at night, fell down at last, slept and dreamed." But the tunnels and a black casket, his head still hurt, but there was also an odd sense of numbness, as if ice had been laid on an injury. The dream had seemed so real, now it was distant, slippery and meaningless. A dark pang of fear and pain that would drift away like smoke if he allowed it to, or at least he hoped it would. He pushed the memories down, burying them as deep as he could, and closed his mind over them like the lid of a box. So he goes out into the day, and he kind of gets along to the old forest road, but then turns on it and makes his way and finds a hanged man, which kind of, obviously exudes the terror, as if that is the terror that he is going to find himself on this journey. And he wonders what would his punishment be if caught. He sees this hanging man. So then he makes his way to the village of Flet, and he remembers that it's a holiday. It is Belthane Day, and there's the Maya tree, which is this tree that people all over Osten put up. And so he kind of walks into the village, and he sees this almost like a holiday festival scene where men and women are dancing and singing, and it's, I can't help but read it and just notice this strange and almost odd contrast. Just the 180 from what we saw in the past few chapters now to, oh, it's light, it's nice. And he is certainly pleased by that and happy about that. But Simon doesn't even really know what to make of it. He's like, okay, what do I do now? He's thinking, okay, I can go into this village. I can maybe try to get some work. But, again, in his mind, when Morganis told him just go, essentially go to Naglemund, go to Joshua, Naglemund is so far away. And that's why he's seeing that possibility as, again, something that's so far away that he couldn't possibly undergo something like that. But he must, in a way. He goes into an inn called the Dragon and Fisherman, and he sees somebody amongst the crowd of people that he knows. He sees Brother Cadrak from much earlier on in the book. And Cadrak recognizes him, and asks Simon, he says, "Well, Simon, what are you doing here? Flet, you're pretty far away from the hay-hole. What are you doing here?" And Simon almost tells him, but then he checks himself, and he's like, "No. What happened to Morganis? What did Morganis impart upon you?" We're talking to himself. "Don't tell people. Don't get involved with telling people about that." Just so he says, I have been on an errand for some people at the castle. And so him and Cadrak, they kind of sit in a booth and order some ale. And yeah, and Kadrak, he begins to tell some stories. So these stories of Kadrak, from Simon's perspective, he just notes that the Hernesteersman was a wonderful storyteller despite the burr of his accent that sometimes made him a little bit difficult to understand. So he tells him about the harper Ithineg and Scythi woman Finaju and all of that. And then the innkeeper comes up to Kadrak and Simon, and he pointedly talks to Kadrak, and he says, you got to pay up. I've lent you, you've had way too many drinks on the house, you've had way too many drinks on credit, now is the time that you pay. I've given you these on credit, now it's time to pay. And Kadrak looks for money, and he's like, laddie, will you look at that now? I stopped to help a poor beggar man today, carried him down to the water I did, and washed his bleeding feet, and look what he has done to repay my kindness. Can you wonder why I sometimes fear for this wicked world, young Simon? I helped the man, and why he must have robbed me, even as I was carrying him. Well, lad, I'm afraid I'll have to prevail on your human kindness and Adenite charity to lend me the money that we are owing here. I can soon pay you back, never fear. He clucked, waving the slit wallet at the gape-eyed Simon. Oh, but this world is sick with sin. And Simon kind of fades for a second, and then he looks over to Kadrak, and he's like, wait a minute, you've got my purse. Kadrak kind of took the purse away from him, and then Kadrak is kind of side-eyeing him, and then Kadrak takes off, and of course Simon is running after him, and he's like, thief, like you took my purse. And Freywaru, the innkeeper, takes him, and he's like, for all I know, this is a little like a scam that you and him do, where he steals your money and you have to get money back. And so he says, I'm gonna see if Daerhelm or Godston has heard of you pair before. And then the innkeeper tells him, I don't know why you just didn't ask for work if you're looking for money. And then a guy, he goes essentially like across the street or across the village, across town, and knocks on this door, and this guy comes out, and the innkeeper's going to ask this guy, have you seen Simon? And the guy is wearing the green livery of Elias. Simon freaks out, and he headbutts the innkeeper in the stomach, and he takes off. And he's just so upset. As we see, kind of just looking into the next chapter, Morghennes has died. He has gone out. He has seen this horrible ritual. Now he's in this town. He sees somebody he knows, Kadrak, who was kind to him in the past, and then Kadrak steals his money and runs away. And so it's like, you like a character has hit rock bottom and rock bottom and rock bottom. It's like, can he go any lower? But I suppose we'll find out next time, won't we? The one spoiler comment I have, so spoilers for here on out. The next time Kadrak and Simon see each other, I don't remember when that next time is. Is it not until the way end of the Green Angel Tower that they see each other again? I don't really remember. I mean, I know Kadrak doesn't even, if I remember correctly, doesn't even really show up in this book until he's mentioned at the end when he's coming to get Miriamel, or he just got Miriamel and is taking her south from Naglamund. I don't remember for sure. So if somebody knows when and if Simon and Kadrak meet again, because I'm trying to think, I associate Kadrak with Miriamel, is Grimner and those folks so much that I don't remember Kadrak and Simon interacting after this in a significant way. I could be wrong though, so let me know. All right, let me know what you guys think of chapter 15. and I will see you guys next time for chapters 16 and 17.